so scared. I feel like I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And the next day, my daughter's life was taken. Fed these children that grew up. My daughter housed one of them that was homeless. And all the while, they were plotting to ambush my pregnant daughter.
I fear no man. I fear no man. I don't fear their little pow-pows. I fear no man, because that's all they can do is shoot.
I'm so scared. I feel like I'm going to die. These were the last words Melanie Mase texted her mother, just 24 hours before 7 people she called friends gunned her down in broad daylight. Have you ever trusted someone who later betrayed you? What happens when the people you call friends become the architects of your final moments? For 21-year-old Melanie, that betrayal came from 7 people she considered friends, people she had fed at her table and even given shelter when they had nowhere else to go. On February 28, 2023, in Lakewood, Colorado, these same friends orchestrated an ambush that would end 3 lives, Melanie's and her unborn twins. The Facebook dispute that preceded her murder seemed minor, until it turned deadly. What makes someone capable of such calculated violence against a friend? And how do we protect ourselves from those who wear the mask of friendship while harboring deadly intentions? I fear no man, declares Chautauqua Brown, Melanie's mother, who now raises her granddaughter Honesty alone. I fear no man because that's all they can do is shoot. This isn't just another murder story. It's a warning about the masks people wear and the deadly price of misplaced trust. The danger didn't come from a stranger in the shadows. It came with a smile from people Melanie trusted. Her story might just save your life.
Oh, baby, yeah.
Before we journey into this complex story, grab a cup of coffee and settle in for this captivating true crime story. I'd love to know where you're watching this video from. Let me know in the comments. Don't hesitate to join the conversation too. Your thoughts and input are a vital part of this story. Welcome to Mindtwist True Crime Stories. Kindly support us by subscribing to this channel and turn on the notification bell icon. Don't forget to check out our other true crime stories, crime documentaries, and playlists on this channel. Born September 10, 2001, Melanie Amanda Mase entered the world as the third of Chautauqua Brown's 4 children. From her earliest days, she radiated a unique charm that drew people to her. She loved cereal. Her mother recalls with a bittersweet smile, and when she ate it, her lips would curl in this funny way. These small moments, the curl of her lips, her playful battles with siblings, painted the portrait of a young woman full of life. Melanie's heritage reflected a rich cultural mosaic, Creole, Afro-Indian, and Guyanese roots that her best friend Lachey found fascinating. Though described as cute but bossy with expensive taste, her defining quality was generosity. A sweet-hearted person, her mother calls her. This wasn't empty praise. Melanie opened her home to those in need, including one who would later stand among her killers. Education mattered to Melanie. At Central High School and later New Legacy Charter School for teen parents, she worked toward her diploma, scheduled to graduate on March 24, 2023, a ceremony she would never attend. Her professional path showed equal dedication. As a medical assistant at Hope Senior Living, Melanie cared for those who couldn't care for themselves. Her nursing certificate represented not just personal achievement, but a commitment to healing others. This wasn't just a job. It was a calling that aligned with her spiritual nature. Guided by her mother's teachings, Melanie cultivated a deep connection with the Holy Spirit that informed her compassionate approach to life. In 2021, Melanie welcomed her daughter, Honesty Lorraine Dior Mase. Motherhood transformed her, bringing new purpose and joy. Together, they built memories, splashing at water parks, watching fireworks light up the night sky, the wonder in Honesty's eyes during Disney on Ice. Each moment strengthened their bond. By early 2023, Melanie's family was growing again. 4 months pregnant with twins, she embraced this new chapter with characteristic warmth and hope. Then came the shift. In February 2023, an argument erupted on Facebook. What began as online conflict quickly morphed into something more dangerous. Direct threats against Melanie. The messages grew increasingly hostile. Friends became enemies through screens and keyboards. Melanie sensed the danger. The day before her death, she texted her mother words that now haunt Chautauqua Brown. "I'm so scared. I feel like I'm going to die." These weren't the anxious thoughts of an overly worried mind. They were the recognition of genuine danger, a premonition that would prove tragically accurate within 24 hours. As February 28th dawned, Melanie couldn't know that the people she once trusted were gathering, planning, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. What truly compels a group of individuals to turn on someone they once called friend? And who would dare to act on such cruel words?
Show you and then your mom.
February 28th, 2023. A Tuesday night, seemingly like any other, settled over Lakewood, Colorado. On Zephyr Street, in the 1300 block, a quiet residential area near Wadsworth in Florida, Melanie Mase was dropped off at her home. She walked towards her door, completely unaware that her final moments were already counting down. Then, the night air exploded. Gunfire erupted without warning. Melanie was caught in a sudden, brutal assault. Bullets tore through her, striking her in the back of her head and her leg. In a defiant act, a desperate fight for her life, her mother believes Melanie fired a single shot in return. Melanie shot that one bullet, her mother would later recount. But the attack was overwhelming. A fusillade of bullets rained down. One assailant, armed with 2 guns, continued firing. "Just shot my daughter to death," her mother described the horror. Melanie, 21 years old and 4 months pregnant, lost her life, and with her, the lives of her unborn twins were tragically extinguished. The scene that followed was one of unspeakable anguish. Melanie's mother, Chautauqua Brown, arrived, desperate to reach her daughter. "I couldn't get to her," she recalled, her voice thick with pain. "But she saw the unimaginable. What I did see is them bring her out in a body bag. No mother should witness such a sight. No mother should have to identify her child this way." In the days that follow, a makeshift memorial forms on Zephyr Street. Flowers pile up. A pink heart, Melanie's favorite color, stands as a silent marker of lives cut short. But flowers cannot bring back a daughter. They cannot raise a now motherless child named Honesty. They cannot fill the void left by an ambush that took not just Melanie, but the future she carried within her. A profound grief settled over the immediate neighborhood. The street became a stark marker of an ultimate betrayal. A tragedy that would shatter a family and forge a mother's unyielding crusade for accountability. As police begin their investigation, one question hangs in the air. How could 7 people coordinate to kill a pregnant woman they called friend? Who were these individuals, and what reason could justify such an act against someone they knew, someone they once called friend? The answer would take more than 2 years to fully emerge, leaving Chautauqua Brown to wage a solitary battle for justice while raising her granddaughter with the painful knowledge that her mother died at the hands of those she trusted. The horrifying scene on Zephyr Street demanded answers. Now the painstaking work of law enforcement would begin to expose the faces behind the ambush, and the answer would prove more shocking than anyone could have imagined. The Lakewood Police Department launched an immediate and intense investigation. Their assessment was clear. This was not a random act, but a carefully planned ambush. Detectives worked tirelessly, gathering every available piece of evidence, from witness accounts to digital footprints and forensic details, each element contributing to the growing portrait of the attackers. And then, the identities emerged.
I fear no man. I fear no man. I don't fear their little pow-pows. I fear no man, because that's all they can do is shoot.
That's the message from the mother of Melanie Mase to the 7 suspects accused of killing her daughter in an ambush attack in Lakewood in February a year ago. Mase was 21 years old and pregnant. Police kept the case under wraps until last week when police announced first-degree murder charges against 7 suspects. 5 are currently in custody, but police are still looking for Isaac Parihi and Jalee Burks. 9 News reporter Brianna Clark is at Melanie's memorial in Lakewood. Brianna?
Yeah, good evening, guys. Melanie's mom actually started this. She put it up just hours after learning about her daughter's death. And every time she comes here, she notices there's something new. And she has no idea who is adding to this memorial, but she says it's proof that Melanie had a lot of folks that loved her.
This is me, Melanie, and Honesty together.
3 generations in one photo.
She just loved for us to dress up alike.
Memories help numb the pain for Shataka Brown.
And I miss those moments.
This spot brings her back to reality.
My daughter's body was right here. You can still see blood drops from my child being slain.
February 28th, 2023.
There was bullets everywhere.
This is where 21-year-old Melanie Mase took her last breath.
It was police everywhere. It was so many cars. I couldn't get up here if I wanted to. But what I did see is them bring her out in a body bag. I couldn't get to her.
Lakewood police say Melanie was shot and killed during an ambush.
Not understanding what made 7 people want to come over here and just shoot my pregnant daughter.
Melanie was going to be a mother again.
She was pregnant with twins.
Grandbabies Shataka will never get to meet or make memories with.
I'm a hurting mother. This is painful.
But behind all that pain is strength.
I don't like publicity. I don't like attention. I like to be within my own. But for my daughter, it's okay to have the attention. It's okay to let people know how I truly feel. It's okay to show my face. It's okay.
Shataka tells me her daughter knew some of the people who are accused of killing her. She says one of them was actually a childhood friend that her daughter used to hang out with all the time. Again, 7 people have now been charged with Melanie's murder. 2 of them are still.
7 individuals were named, each facing a first-degree murder charge in connection with Melanie's death and the loss of her unborn children. Their names: Isaac Pierre, Jalea Burks, Monte Hayes, Reasia Hollins, Trinity Walker, Dejana Abrams, and Jarayla Taylor. But the names alone do not convey the full depth of the horror. This was the ultimate twist. Melanie knew these individuals. She considered them friends. She had even extended kindness, providing shelter to one of them. They weren't strangers. No, seriously, they were her friends, her confidants, the very people she tried to help. Melanie's mother, Shataka Brown, articulated the raw pain of this betrayal. "I fed these children. They were plotting to ambush my pregnant daughter." By February 8, 2024, nearly a year after the attack, 5 of the 7 suspects, Monte Hayes, Reasia Hollins, Trinity Walker, Dejana Abrams, and Jarayla Taylor, were apprehended and held in Jefferson County Jail. Arrest warrants had been issued for all 7 in January 2024. However, 2 remained at large, Isaac Pierre and Jalea Burks. Authorities warned they were armed and dangerous, urging caution among residents. A $2,000 reward was offered for information leading to their capture. As detectives built their case, the question shifted from who to why. What could possibly motivate such a calculated act of violence against a young mother and her unborn children? The answer would emerge from the digital shadows where threats had first been made. A Facebook dispute that escalated from online conflict to real-world murder.
In Lakewood, where a mother is searching for answers nearly a year after her pregnant daughter and her unborn twins were murdered in an ambush attack by multiple suspects.
And this happened last year on February 28th, right near 13th and Wadsworth in Lakewood. Police still looking for 2 of the suspects tonight. Fox 31's Aaliyah Sin spoke to the mother and joins us live, all new at 9. Aaliyah.
Yeah, Talia, during our 30-minute interview, her eyes would fill up with tears talking about those moments leading up to her daughter's death. Now, she still has questions as to why 7 people ambushed her at her home, and the most heartbreaking part in all of this, she says her daughter knew the people who took her life.
The pain of a mother.
This really took a part of me.
Her daughter's life tragically cut short.
And in her phone, she just kept saying, "I'm so scared. I feel like I'm going to die. I'm going to die." And the next day, my daughter's life was taken.
Shataka Brown's 22-year-old daughter, Melanie Mase, died in front of her home in the 1300 block of Zephyr Street in Lakewood. It was at the hands of 7 people Brown says she thought were her friends.
I fed these children that grew up. My daughter housed one of them that was homeless, and they, all the while they were plotting to ambush my pregnant daughter.
At the time, Melanie was 4 months pregnant with twins. Brown tells me there was a Facebook dispute with the suspects threatening her daughter. Shortly after Melanie was dropped off at her home, shots started ringing out. Bullets hit Melanie in the back of the head and leg, but she tried defending herself.
And when Melanie shot that one bullet, one of the guys actually had 2 guns and just ambushed my daughter, just shot my daughter to death,
5 people were arrested. Lakewood police still looking for these fugitives in the case.
You guys destroyed my family.
Brown created this memorial filled with flowers and a pink heart to honor her daughter. She also carries her ashes with her.
And I bring my baby's rose with me everywhere I go.
And has this advice for everyone. It's the same guidance she gave her daughter before her untimely death.
Before you let them even in your presence, it's time to interview people now.
The pursuit continued for over 2 grueling years. Then, in March 2024, the first breakthrough came. Jalea Burks, 20, turned herself in to authorities. Whether motivated by conscience or the pressure of life as a fugitive, she surrendered to face the consequences of her actions. 6 down, 1 to go. Finally, on March 4, 2025, Isaac Amir Pieri, then 24 years old, was apprehended in Aurora, Colorado. His bond was set at $1 million. The charges, first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. All 7 suspects were finally in custody. His arrest marked a critical breakthrough, ensuring all 7 individuals linked to Melanie's murder were now in custody. This achievement was the result of extensive collaboration between the Aurora Police Department, U.S. Marshals, the Department of Corrections, Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and ICE. If this story has captivated you, kindly hit the like button, share it with someone who needs to hear Melanie's story, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on the profound impact of betrayal. The legal process is complex. Some of the defendants, according to reports from late 2024, have entered plea deals, indicating a willingness to accept responsibility or provide information about the events of that night. Others continue to await trial. The Jefferson County District Attorney's Office has publicly committed to holding everyone involved fully accountable, ensuring no stone is left unturned in securing justice for Melanie. As sentencing dates approached for some and trials loomed for others, Chautauqua Brown faced a question that haunts many who lose loved ones to violence. Would any legal outcome truly bring closure? No prison sentence could bring back her daughter. No guilty verdict could fill the void left in Honesty's life. The legal system could provide accountability, but could it heal the wounds of such profound betrayal? For Chautauqua, justice wasn't just about punishment. It was about acknowledging the value of Melanie's life and the lives of her unborn children. It was about ensuring that those who had planned and executed this ambush faced consequences for their actions. As she continued to raise her granddaughter and carry her daughter's memory, Chautauqua waited for the final chapters of this legal process to unfold, hoping that somewhere in the courtrooms and sentencing hearings, she might find, if not closure, then at least a measure of peace. But beyond the courtroom's final gavel, what profound lesson does her tragic story implant in our minds? The grief of losing a child defies description. For Chautauqua, it's compounded by the knowledge that her daughter was killed by people she had welcomed into her life. People who had sat at her table and accepted her kindness. In the aftermath of the murder, Chautauqua returned to the scene on Zephyr Street. The bloodstains remained, a physical reminder of violence that matched the permanent mark left on her heart. When Melanie died, her daughter Honesty was barely 2 years old, too young to understand the full weight of what had happened, but old enough to feel the absence of her mother. March 24, 2023. Less than a month after Melanie's murder. This should have been her graduation day at New Legacy Charter School. Instead, it became a moment of bittersweet tribute. In a ceremony that brought tears to everyone present, little Honesty received her mother's graduation certificate. Chautauqua accepted it on behalf of her granddaughter, fulfilling a milestone that Melanie had worked so hard to achieve. The diploma represents not just academic achievement, but a promise kept, A reminder that even in death, Melanie's goals and dreams matter. From tragedy, Chitaka has distilled wisdom she now shares with others. Before you let them even in your presence, it's time to interview people now. This isn't paranoia. It's the hard-earned insight of a woman who watched her daughter extend trust to those who would ultimately betray her in the most profound way possible. Melanie's story serves as both memorial and warning, a reminder to be discerning about who we allow into our lives, to recognize the warning signs of potential danger, and to take threats seriously, especially when they come through digital channels. Despite the violence of her death, Melanie's life was defined by generosity and warmth. Her heritage, Creole, Afro-Indian, and Guyanese, reflected a rich cultural background that informed her identity. Her career choice as a medical assistant demonstrated her commitment to caring for others. Her role as Honesty's mother revealed her capacity for unconditional love. How do you protect yourself from false friends? What warning signs have you learned to recognize in your own life? Melanie's story reminds us that sometimes the greatest dangers come not from strangers, but from those we've welcomed into our lives. Her legacy lives on not just in memory, but in the caution her story inspires. A caution that might save others from similar betrayal. This story is one that truly deserves your attention. A like and a share can help amplify Melanie Mase's story and the voices of countless others affected by betrayal and violence in our communities. By sharing these stories, we not only honor victims like Melanie, but also fight for the justice they deserve. Let's work together to make sure these stories are heard and that no one is forgotten. And if you're looking for more true crime stories, with mystery, thrilling suspense, justice for victims, and insights into human behavior, hit the subscribe button now. And turn on the notification bell icon below so you'll be among the first to know when we put out a new true crime story. Don't hesitate to check out our other videos as well. Join the conversation in the comments. How do you protect yourself from false friends? What warning signs have you learned to recognize? Thanks for watching till the end, and until next time, stay aware and stay safe.